At present, uh, Meet is focused on few things. Then the major vision or mission that you would like to say is uh, 2020, by 2020, net foreign exchange positive for all our electronic and IT exports. In the sense, there is a report which says by 2020 the import of electronics and IT products into India will be $400 billion, and basically there will be net imports will be $323 billion. Okay, that is much more than the oil import bill. Okay, and it is going to pose a huge challenge, huge pressure on India's balance of payment situation, etc. So from that perspective, our first and foremost aim is to improve the Made in India sign, or improve the brand Made in India here, so that we invite a lot of component manufacturers, lot of finished goods manufacturers like OEMs, etc., into India to give a huge boost to this industry here in India, so that India by 2020 becomes net foreign exchange positive in terms of electronics and IT. That is pillar number one. If you talk about four pillars, talking about demand generation side, you can say all the Indians, they should have the power of technology, power of computing, increasing the handheld devices. Okay, so to these people, so that number one, there is proliferation of devices, and it helps in terms of lot of generation of demand, and also it helps in the inclusiveness of the consumers. Okay, so from that perspective, the second aim of Made is to increase the demand generation. So that is the second pillar. First pillar is to make India net foreign exchange positive in terms of manufacturing. Two is the demand generation side. Third is making people more inclusive, e-inclusive as we call it. That is bridging the digital divide and making people, giving people the power of technology to change their lives, to participate in governance, so that governance reaches them better, faster, and it becomes easier for them to participate in this economic progress of India. So these are the main pillars that believe that one, there is proliferation of devices. Two, of devices, handhelds, computers, equipment, etc. And that is posing a severe challenge to the power situation in this country, and also having a negative footprint, okay, negative carbon footprint. So as Made, we are focused on improving our carbon footprint, okay, in improving the energy efficiency, etc., of all the devices, handles that are being used. So we are in the process of working out a study to look into the energy efficiency aspects of various devices. Two, we are working with MOEF very closely. We are working with MOEF and the various pollution control boards and Central Pollution Control Board to work on the e-waste guidelines and e-waste rules that are going to be applicable by May 1st, 2012. So that is a major area. I'll give you a brief background. One is, as I talked earlier, that there is going to be proliferation of consumer premise equipments or handhelds devices. The reason being, one, there is a scheme of the Department of IT to connect all Gram Panchayats by fiber optic connectivity. Okay. When this happens by 2014, a lot of e-health and e-education programs are going to ride over it, and also there is going to be a lot of financial inclusion through Aadhaar schemes tied up with MNREG and other things. So what will happen is the consumers have to access all these facilities or all these programs through some kind of devices. whether it is a tablet or is a PC or a laptop or a phone, etc. So there will be a proliferation of devices. When there is proliferation of devices, we also need to know the issues that are these consumers are facing. And India, because of its vast geography, the various channel associations, regional channel associations, will have a big role to play, because they can act as a conduit or act as a go-between the consumer and then us, and then basically interface, so that we understand the issues that consumers are facing. Two, if there are any latent needs of consumer, then that also is conveyed to the OEMs. Because of that, we have decided that we will take in all these channel associations as our members, so that the entire ICT ecosystem becomes strengthened and energized. However, to start with, we will be progressively taking on board some of the larger channel associations, okay, and then slowly take it forward. And there have been channel associations like Compass, etc., that basically the top 10 Compass State, etc., which we have already taken on board, and there are other ones which will slowly take on board. It also depends upon the synergy, various levels of synergy, etc., which progressively will evolve, and we are looking into those aspects to take them. It is 20-year-old organization. It works very closely with the various government departments and other entities. It is known for its ethically compliant behavior. Okay, so everybody knows that there is no other hidden agenda. Everybody knows that MATE's responsibility and the way MATE operates, the voice of reason that MATE propagates, and the way MATE's representations and MATE's voice is appreciated, that will provide a very large and credible and effective platform for the various channel partners. So that's the reason why various channel partners are trying to approach us to make them in fact partners. We are in constant dialogue with the Ministry of Finance, because there are situations, there are certain disabilities afflicting this particular sector, where import of components it attracts higher duties than import of finished goods. So this is termed as inverted duty structures. That makes this manufacturing of some of the items here very costly. That is why people prefer to import some of these rather than manufacture here in India. So one part of the story is interacting with the government to tell them to remove the various disabilities, in basically duty anomalies, so that these parts and components and sub-assemblies can be manufactured here in India. Two, we are also in discussion with the various industries to come and set up their manufacturing facilities here in India. We are giving them examples, we are giving them various case studies, whereby we're telling them how it is when there is sufficient scale, manufacturing in India can be much cheaper and